Hello, so today I am back to do my album reaction and review for Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet album that came out on August 23rd. I was very excited for this album just to see what Sabrina's got in store for us this era, especially as a little bit of a newer Carpenter. And I'm excited to hear what all of you guys think about the songs, your rankings, everything like that. So don't forget to let me know down below what your thoughts are. And then before I pass you back to me on release day listening to the album for the first time, just a few disclaimers before we get into it. Obviously, I am not a professional music reviewer in any capacity, not official music critic, anything like that. Like, I am just a fan of Sabrina, and my whole review and my thoughts are really just based on, do I like what I'm hearing? Yes or no. I only include the portions of the songs that I actually have like a visual or verbal reaction to. And yeah, I think that's everything. So I will pass you back to me from about a week ago. Okay, hopefully my fan's not making too much noise, but let's get into this album. The first song is Taste, which is the third single, and it has a music video to it. So let's see.
I leave quite an impression.
Okay.
5 feet to pieces.
Sabrina.
Wonder why I have his clothes when
This guitar.
my body's where they're at.
Okay, Miss Sabrina.
Hurts your back together, and if that's true,
Ooh.
to taste me when he's kissing you. If you want for
Hold on. Hold on. Also, is my camera even focused? I don't even think it is. Sabrina! Sabrina! Sabrina. 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 Also, I've seen some things about this music video already. Unfortunately, because Twitter just shows me everything. So a certain scene of the music video has been spoiled for me. Anyway.
He's funny now, all his jokes hit different. Guess who you learned that from?
Guess who you learned that from? She sounds so good, obviously, but ooh. That's crazy. That is a crazy lyric. Sabrina! Sabrina! Oh my god. Ma'am. Miss Sabrina. This one is so fun. Ooh, layer vocals, hello. Miss Sabrina. Next song is Please Please Please. Obviously, I've already heard this one a bajillion times since it's gotten released, so it's probably just going to be a whole lot of me singing along and not really reacting at all. If you can believe it, I still get the words wrong to this song, even though it's been out for months at this point, so fun times. I love the little, it's kind of a twang-ish that she puts on it. I have seen people being like, that's not like a country twang, it's just like her Pennsylvania accent, which I guess kind of makes sense, but it's still a twang to me. Anyway, that's not important. I love this part, the kind of talk singing-ish. I love it. I will say, this one I was not fully sold on when I first heard it and watched the music video. I wasn't as sure about it as I was when I heard Espresso the first time, but I definitely came around very quickly. And the next one is Good Graces. Oh! Okay, Miss Brina. Ooh! This is reminding me of something. What? What about Rockin' Cradles? What was that? Let me rewind a little bit. Feel like an angel? Okay. 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 Maybe this is just the K-pop fan in me. Or maybe I've just lost my mind. Why is this kind of New Jeans-y? Maybe? I don't know. Anybody who also listens to New Jeans, you'll have to tell me if I'm crazy or if you hear it as well. I don't know. It's also reminding me of like, I don't even know what. I don't even know what this is reminding me of besides New Jeans vibes. I can't put my finger on it. I have no idea. It's gonna take me like an hour to get through this album. Oh, hello. Oh my goodness. Do we need to be doing this right now? Okay, you people revving your freaking motorcycle, what are we doing? Is that necessary? I don't think so. Oh, God, I hate these people. Anyway, next song is Sharpest Tool. Ooh.
I know you're not the sharpest tool.
Dragging someone like that immediately? Where's this going? It's kind of staying. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Oh, there's like kind of a little twinkle. Types. What is this? Is this just an effect on her voice? Or is my computer glitching? No. I think that's an effect. Does it kind of, like the audio, when you listen to it in headphones, is it kind of going around in a circle then? It felt like it was kind of bouncing back and forth between both of my speakers. Ooh. Who do I need to fight, Sabrina? Who do I need to fight, ma'am? Yeah, it's kind of doing it again. Okay, so that's definitely like an effect on her voice. The next song is Coincidence. Oh! I'm vibing with this already. Okay. This is kind of country. Wait. Oh, these vocals are so good. Any thoughts? Oh my god, these lyrics. She's out for blood. She's out for blood. Fun. Next song, the midpoint of the album, is Bed Chem. I feel like this one's gonna be interesting. Okay.
I was in a sheer dress the day that we met. We were both in a rush. We talked for a sec. You friended me up so we could connect. And what are the odds? You sent me a text and now next thing I know,
I love the way she writes lyrics.
How you pick me up, how you talk so sweet when you're doing bad things like that.
Okay.
You looking at me, I know what that means and I love test. Are you free next week? I'm doing really good. Come around on me. I mean camaraderie. Said you're not a
Excuse me? Excuse me. Oh my god, I'm having a time. Especially with the, like, falsettos, I guess, like the high notes and things like that. Understanding what she's saying.
Where art thou? Why not upon with me? See it in my mind, let's fulfill the prophecy. It's the cute guy with the wide blue eyes and the big bad.
Is that why one of her nonsense outros was in, like, Shakespearean English? Because she did that in this song. Her mind. The spoilers. Ooh. What is that? That. Is it a keyboard? Something of the sort? Like how that sounds. Interesting. Very interesting. Love the wordplay and the, like, cheekiness of the lyrics always. That's one of my favorite things about Miss Sabrina ever since I found her. I just think she's so creative with her lyrics and the wordplay and just, like, the fun jokes and things like that in the lyrics. Speaking of, the next song is Espresso. I love this freaking song so much. I was pretty much obsessed with it right away when I first heard it. I don't know, I'm trying to think what I thought about it when I first listened to it. I don't remember, honestly, but I love this song. It's just so catchy. I love it. And 1 billion plus streams. It's just so fun. Like, I'm not really gonna talk. I'm probably just gonna sing along to this song. I can't wait to hear this live, like, in person. She sounds so good live in all the performances I've seen. I'm so excited. Well, I just forgot how to speak English. I'm very excited to hear her perform this live, see her perform this live, rather, in October. I'm very excited. I love those vocals underneath, ad-libs, I guess? I don't really know what they're called. I don't know the technical terms, but I love them. I feel like I always end up singing those instead of just the regular vocals, I guess. Even though I cannot sing like her. But I just want to copy that part. Okay, next song is Dumb and Poetic.
You're so dumb and poetic. It's just what I fall for. I like the aesthetic. Every self-help book you've already read it. Cherry pick lines like they're words you invented. Gold star for highbrow. Jack off to lyrics by Leonard Cohen. Don't think you
She's out for blood.
understand.
In a good amount of these songs, I feel like she's out for blood.
Just 'cause you talk like one doesn't make you.
That's crazy. Oh? Just because you talk like one, it doesn't make you a man? Am I hearing that correctly?
Save all your breath for your floor meditation. You're so empathetic.
Damn!
Make a great wife, and I promise the mushrooms aren't changing your life. Will you crash the car and abandon the wreckage? Fuck with my head like it's some kind of fetish. Don't think you.
Oh Oh my god, Sabrina, who are we fighting? Who are we fighting, Sabrina? Just tell me. That's crazy. That's so good though. I feel like people are gonna use that a lot. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Damn. Oh my god. She's out for blood. I've said it like 500 times already. So this next stretch of songs, there was a tweet from some of the short and sweet listening parties that talked about what fans were saying about these songs. So Slim Pickens, this one she performed a little bit of before somewhere, and I watched like a tiny bit of the clip, but I don't remember what it sounds like. This one people were saying is a country tune, and in the tweet it says there's another country song on the album, which I'm pretty sure is Coincidence. And then Juno, which is right after, people are saying this album's nonsense. Lie to Girls is an emotional ballad. Perfect, so I'm probably gonna like that one right away. And then Don't Smile is R&B perfection. So that is the people's opinions on these last 4 songs on the album. So we'll get started with Slim Pickens, I guess, our second country tune. I'm excited. Oh, it is. It's even more country than the other one. Sabrina, how did you know that I listened to country music growing up? And that this is gonna hit me right in the nostalgia? I'm obsessed with her. She can do anything. Okay.
Since the good ones are deceased or taken, I'll just keep on moaning and bitching.
Real. Real as hell. I'm obsessed.
Is this what's a girl to do? This boy doesn't even know the difference between there and they are. Yet he's naked in my room.
Okay.
Missing all the things he's missing. God knows that he isn't living large. A boy who's nice that breathes. I swear he's nowhere to be seen. The good ones are deceased or taken. I'll just keep on moaning and bitching.
And that is so real of you. I support it.
And I'll just be here in the kitchen, serving up some moaning and bitching.
Ooh, that's good. That is good. On to Juno. Allegedly, this album's nonsense. I don't know if anything will ever top nonsense for me. Why does this sound familiar too? What's happening?
Don't have to tell you how that's a thing. Oh yeah, you jealous, get it?
Okay.
Whole package, babe, I like the way you fit. God bless your dad's genetics.
Sabrina! I should expect this by now. Especially like, I mean, the reason that I got into her was her nonsense outros were going really viral and showing up all the time on my For You page, and those were interesting, like these lyrics. I should expect this, and yet it takes me by surprise every single time. I feel like I've also a little bit forgotten how to speak, so that's excellent. Oh my god, Sabrina. I love her.
You make me wanna make you fall in love.
Oh,
And I'm thinking about you. I wanna tie on the fuzzy pink handcuffs. Oh, I hear you knocking, baby. Come on up.
got it. This sounds familiar too, but I don't know what it's reminding me of. Good lord, I am so sorry. This happens a lot. But this is very fun. Oh, hello.
I showed my friends, then we have five. Sorry if you feel objectified. Can't on myself, hormones are high. Give me more than just some butterflies.
Okay.
We wanna make you fly.
This guitar part is so good. And this is the longest song too. This is almost 4 minutes. Where else are we going with this? Okay. Ooh. Okay. We can tell. Nice little guitar solo moment. Obviously we don't know her set list yet, but I feel like maybe she'll just be prancing around, dancing around during this part, having the best time. That's how it ends? That's crazy. And then from that, we're going into like an emotional ballad song. That's crazy. That's very Whiplashy. Love that.
Don't swear on your mom that it's the first drink that you've had in like a month. Don't say it was just an isolated incident that happened once. Yeah, I can make
Sabrina.
a shit show look a whole lot like forever and ever.
Ooh, that like echo.
All of your best excuses, no, they don't stand a chance.
What's that in the background? Oh my gosh. That effect on her voice too is crazy. Yet again. Ooh, these drums. Where are we going, Sabrina? Okay, I know I'm off. Don't look at my finger. Oh, we're just staying. It was building up so much, it sounded like it was just gonna like explode. But we went the opposite direction. Okay. Last song, Don't Smile. Ooh. Okay. I definitely hear the R&B perfection vibes. It's falling faster than the way you love to shove me down. Damn. Okay. Pretty calm ending to the album, but still dragging somebody nonetheless, I think. Kind of, from what I can pull out from the lyrics. Again, very terrible at picking out the words and things like that, especially with like high notes and things like that. It just doesn't compute as words in my ears at first. Like I really need to see them, or I just have to wait until it clicks sometimes. It's crazy that my brain just like cannot process the sound as words. It's over. I feel like it took me definitely much longer than 36 minutes and 15 seconds that Spotify says this album lasts to get through it. But damn. She was out for blood in this album, I feel like. I feel like it's every other song where she's just dragging the hell out of somebody. Perhaps multiple people are being dragged in this album. I don't know. Let's see. Besides Espresso and Please Please Please, what would I say are my favorite songs? I want to say, I don't know, maybe Sharpest Tool? Coincidence? That one's fun because it's a little country. my camera's not focused. This is so bad. This video is gonna be so terrible. I'm so sorry. Like Dumb and Poetic. Juno is fun, I will say that. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call it this album's nonsense yet after one listen, but maybe that's just me, because honestly, nonsense, I don't think anything could outdo it for me. Like, just the feeling that I feel when I hear that song, or even the Christmas version as well. Just something about that song is so addicting to me. I love that song. I don't think anything could ever like outdo it. I also like Laya Girls and how that sounds. I don't know. Bedcam is fun. I don't know. I feel like there's just lots of wordplay and just like fun, I don't know, like fun little jokey lyrics. Like she's so good at that. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, taste. I feel like I've already forgotten how everything sounds besides Please 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 and Espresso. I love when things go in one ear and out the other. Hello again. It is now time for the review portion of this video, and I will say right off the bat that this review is based on only the standard 12 songs that we got from the album. I know in the days after release, Sabrina did release a few different versions of the album that had like one new song, or like I think one of the songs or one of the versions had a demo of Taste on it, if I'm not mistaken. But I, despite having access to those, still have not listened to them, and obviously they're not included in the reaction portion, so I'm not going to be talking about those. It's just the standard 12 that everybody got and everybody can stream. Just thoughts overall on the album. I really like it. Again, I was very excited to hear what she's got in store for us. I am a little bit newer of a fan. Like, I found her in 2022 when her nonsense outros were blowing up on TikTok, and then ever since then I've just been really into her music. I've been listening to it pretty much every single day, so I was very excited to participate in a new album cycle and like all the hype and things like that. So yeah, I think overall I really like the album. I think I've been having the worst time ever trying to do my ranking for the album, which we'll get to. I just don't know. Like, it's been so hard for me to rank the songs and like really nail down how I feel about the songs, which is kind of similar to how I felt about Emails I Can't Send. Like, it took me a hot second to really come around on that album, but now it's definitely one of my favorites and I love listening to it, and I imagine that this will be one of those albums for me as well. I did end up giving myself a little bit longer than a week with the album to think of how I feel about the songs and things like that, just because things at work have been really stressful. I couldn't even listen to the album at all for like 2.5 days of the first 7 since the album release date, so I had to give myself some extra time because I was not ready to film this video a few days ago when I was initially planning to, so there's that. Definitely I'm still gonna need some more time with the album to like really solidify things. I think maybe my ranking will get more solidified as time goes on, but for right now, just know it's still a little bit hectic. I'm still like a little bit unsure how I feel, but that's okay. So I guess I will get into just some more overall thoughts. I feel like Espresso and Please 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 were really good pre-release singles for this album, in the sense of like not spoiling too much about kind of the other side of the album that we have going on, that we get with Taste and the music video and things like that. So this kind of ties in with a little interview of Sabrina that I saw the other day, where she was kind of talking about like there's 2 different storylines or 2 different kind of timelines going on within the album, but she doesn't want to like outright say what they are. She wants it to be left up to interpretation, because that's the fun part about music. So I feel like Espresso and Please 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 were kind of singles that represented one of those storylines, like one half of the album, and then like it gave no indication of what the other side is, which now I know is dragging Shawn Mendes a lot. At the time of listening, I had no clue that it was about him, but now I very much do. So I feel like that's the other side of the album. Like, half of the songs are dragging him. So I think it was really smart to not release any of those songs as a pre-release single and just kind of save it for that being the music video that comes out alongside the album, and just leave it for when the album comes out. Like, you don't get any part of that story until you get the full album. And then Espresso was just kind of like a fun, could be about anybody. People were speculating it was about Barry, but it really could have been about anyone. And then obviously Please Please Please, he's in the music video, so hard launch there. But yeah, like you get kind of like the fun, playful side and not the dragging through the mud side, which I really enjoyed. So this is of course something that I said while I was listening to the album, but one of my favorite things about Sabrina and her music is definitely the wittiness and the wordplay that she does in her lyrics. It's just so fun hearing what she comes up with and the ways that she describes things in just ways that you would never think of. At least I don't think. And something that I think plays into that a lot and that is very fun is just the song titles, or like half of the song titles and even the album title being like common phrases like short and sweet, good graces, slim pickings, don't smile. That's obviously like only part of the phrase, but you know what I mean. I think it was just very fun of her to play around with those phrases as song titles, and it just kind of adds to the wittiness and the wordplay of it all, if that makes sense. Alrighty, so now I guess I will get into my thoughts on each of the songs, just going down in order. So of course, at first we've got Taste. This one, I love it so much. Initially, I left it out of my like top favorites from my very first listen until I watched the music video right after I listened to the album, and then I remembered, oh yes, I love this one. Just right away, it just sounds so good. But yeah, everything kind of went in one ear out the other after I listened to the album, so I completely forgot. But definitely this one's one of my favorites. It's just so good. That guitar is just everything. I just love how it sounds. Love all of the layered vocals and the ad-libs, and it's just like so snarky and fun in the lyrics, and it just makes me want to dance every time I hear it. Like, it's kind of up there with Espresso for me in terms of like catchiness and like how it makes me feel when I hear it, so very much love that song. As for Please Please Please, obviously this is not my first time hearing this song, this is probably my millionth time hearing this song, but just some things that I love about it. Definitely all of the layered vocals. Like, I just love Sabrina's voice and I love a layered vocal, so those two things together are just like, I guess pun intended, music to my ears. And then the second verse and just the playfulness of that, love it so much. It always makes me laugh hearing that part. And the video as well, very fun. I love that video so much, it's so cute. So then Good Graces, this one is definitely a fan favorite, I have noticed from TikTok and things like that. When I was first listening to this one, I said that it has K-pop vibes to it, and I am very pleased to say that I'm not the only person who feels this way. I have seen so many people on Twitter and TikTok saying that this has K-pop vibes. I thought I was crazy a little bit when I was first hearing it. I was like, am I making things up? Like, why does this kind of sound K-pop-ish? Am I just being annoying as a K-pop fan? Like, I don't know. But other people hear it, so that makes me feel better. I still think it sounds a little bit New Jeans kind of vibe. And the very beginning of the instrumental almost reminds me of LE SSERAFIM's Perfect Night. If any of you know that song, it's not technically a K-pop song, I guess, but they are a K-pop group, so just kind of reminds me of those two groups, which I enjoy, and it definitely makes me like it a little bit more. However, I feel like this is a song where I need to be like in the right mood for it. It's not one that I feel like I've been gravitating to very much, and I feel a little nervous to say that because I know a lot of people love it. Please don't kill me for saying that. But yeah, I just feel like I need to be in the right mood to kind of grab for it, but I do enjoy it. I'm not saying it's a bad song at all. This is one where it took me a hot second to realize what she was saying with some of the lyrics, like particularly the one that I have noted down here is the I'll tell the world you finish your chores prematurely. That one took me a hot second to realize what she meant. Like, I think it took me about a week for it to really sink in about what she was talking about. I was just like cleaning around my house listening to the album, and then I just like kind of froze when I realized. I was like, oh my god, Sabrina, do not mess with her. And there's a lot of moments like that in this album where it's just like, holy crap, she's dragging this man to hell and back with these lyrics. And it's like very subtle, like, at least for me, I obviously didn't realize it at first, but now I get it, now I hear it. Next up is Sharpest Tool. This is one of the slower songs on the album, and it is one of my favorite ones, which for some of you that have watched my album reactions before, you might be surprised to hear that, because typically I'm always like, oh, you know, like I do like how it sounds, but it's not going to be one that I reach for very much because I like to listen to the hype upbeat songs a lot more often, which is true. But with Sabrina, I think it's a little bit different. Like, I just love her slower songs. I feel like I'm reaching for those ones really often, no matter what mood I'm in. Like, I don't need to be, like, in a kind of calm mood or whatever. Like, I don't have to be, like, in a certain mindset to want to listen to her slower songs. Like, I will reach for them all the time. It doesn't matter. So that's, like, one difference for me when it comes to hers. Like, I just love her slower, more ballad type songs. One thing that sticks out to me about this song, and I obviously pointed it out when I was listening to it the first time, is the effect that's on her voice in the second verse. It kind of sounds like she's underwater a little bit. Like, it's very muddy listening to it. I don't know, like, what necessarily that represents, I guess. Like, the only thing I can think of is maybe, like, kind of represents maybe some of the lack of clarity that she had in that situation, and then you juxtapose it with like the chorus where her voice is super clear. Maybe at that point, like, everything makes sense now, and that's what, like, I don't know, but that's the only thing I can like think of. That's my silly little analysis of why that effect is on her voice there, and also a little bit at the end, I think. I don't know, but I thought it was very interesting. So then next is Coincidence. This is also one of my favorite songs. I love the kind of country vibes of this song, and I just love how the guitar sounds overall. And it just sounds like just like a bunch of people kind of doing the oh nanas and like chanting, and I guess there's like people kind of cheering at the end too. I just kind of love the whole vibe of the song. This one, side-eyeing a lot of the lyrics. Don't mess with her. That's kind of all that I have written for the song, is just don't mess with Sabrina with a bunch of exclamation points. I think some of the lyrics that I cited the most are like, last week you didn't have any doubts, but this week you're holding space for her tongue in your mouth. Crazy. Like, she's really not hiding who the song is about at all, especially with like the Palm Springs lyrics, things like that. Like, oh my god, I love her so much. I love Messy Sabrina and Petty Sabrina. It's amazing. Next up is Bedchem. This one is very fun and kind of dreamy sounding, which I think fits really well with like the fantasizing aspect of the lyrics and things like that. I will say this one is not necessarily a favorite of mine. Like, I do think it's a fun song and it does make me laugh hearing the lyrics, but this is another one where I kind of need to be in like the right mindset to want to listen to it and like reach for it, I guess, if that makes sense. However, I will say seeing a bunch of edits of all of my faves, whether that be because I stumble upon them myself on the internet or because my friend, you know who you are, has sent them to me, it has made me like the song a lot more, and it definitely is like feeding into my Delulu as a fangirl, so loving that for me. But yeah, this one, I don't reach for it super much. Like, I don't reach for it a lot, but it is a fun song, I will say. So then next up is Espresso, another one that I've heard a bajillion times before this album came out, and I've said it already, I love this song. I really honestly think that this might be my favorite song on the album, to be honest. Like, this one for me makes me feel the way that Nonsense makes me feel when I hear it. Like, I don't think I could ever get sick of this song. I don't think I could ever get sick of Nonsense. Like, there's just something about this song that I just can't get sick of. Like, it's just so good. It's so catchy. It's so addicting. I love listening to it. I will play it on repeat and like run it into the ground still to this day, and it's been out since April. Like, I love this freaking song so much. I just cannot. Like, genuinely, I think it is my favorite off of the album, and I really don't care if that's a basic choice. So next up is Dumb and Poetic, another one of the slow ballad type songs on the album, and I think honestly this one is my favorite of all of the slow songs. I don't really know exactly what it is that draws me towards this one the most compared to the others, but it is what it is. I just really like how it sounds, and I think probably my favorite part is the progression of the lyrics, where it goes from just because you talk like one to just because you act like one to then just because you leave like one doesn't make you a man. Like, she's like breaking him down like chorus by chorus and just being like, in no sense are you a man, like you are horrible basically. And I think it's just like a really calm but intense like drag of Shawn Mendes, I guess. And I just really like how it sounds. I don't know, I just really love this song. It's so good. Well, it wouldn't be an album reaction and review if I didn't kill my camera battery while I'm trying to talk about the songs. Hopefully the framing is relatively the same, but if it's not, sorry. So we were at Slim Pickens. We're almost to the end of the album, but this one I love the country vibes of this as well. This is definitely more country than Coincidences, but it's fine. Love them all the same. I said it while I was listening, but like, I have a little bit of a soft spot for country music because I grew up listening to it. I don't listen to it super often now, but just hearing it, even with Sabrina, I love it. It's just, it suits her voice really well too, and it just sounds so good. The song is definitely very much a mood, and I'm saying this as someone that's like literally never been in a relationship, never even gotten close to being in one. Just something about it, it's just a mood. Just a mood. But I guess dragging men for anything is a mood, to be honest. Next up we have Nonsense. Did I really just... I meant Juno, not Nonsense. And this is the song that people who were able to go to like the little listening parties before the release were saying that this is this album's nonsense. And I will admit, when I first heard it, I didn't really think it reminded me too much of Nonsense. Like, I didn't feel like it was this album's nonsense, but I think I was only thinking of the way that it sounds and the way that I feel listening to it. Like, kind of how I was talking about Espresso and Nonsense together. Just kind of that immediately addicting, immediately love it on first listen kind of vibe, and that's not the feeling that I got from it. But now I think I realized maybe people were actually just talking about it lyric wise. I think it makes more sense that way, being kind of comparable to Nonsense. I think Juno is Nonsense but on crack. I think Juno is a lot more direct. This one, at first I didn't really vibe with it too hard. I think because I went into it knowing that people were calling it this album's nonsense, and I kind of had that expectation of like, oh, I think I'm gonna really like this one because I really like Nonsense, so it let me down a little bit in that sense. But we've moved on. I get it now. I do like it now more than I did on my first listen. I have been reaching for it a lot. It's been stuck in my head a lot in this past about week and a half since hearing it for the first time, but I think this is yet another one where I kind of like need to be in the right mood to like really want to grab for it. Some of my favorite parts about the song are just the guitar, especially in the "You Make Me Want to Make You Fall in Love" part. I think that's probably my favorite part of the song overall. I think that's the catchiest part for me, which luckily it plays so many times, so I get to enjoy it a bunch, like all the way right to the end, because that's like the last line in the last part of the song too. So yeah, it's just very catchy, very dancey, very fun, and I think she said that it is going to be on the set list and she is very excited to perform it, so I'm excited to see what she has in store for us for this performance. So I'll be keeping an eye out on tour. So then next song is our next ballad type song, "Lie to Girls." This one I also very much enjoy. It's just very pretty, chill song. She sounds amazing, of course. I was very intrigued and still am very intrigued by the voices. It sounds like people fighting maybe, or just kind of having maybe a little bit of a heated conversation right in between the chorus and the second verse. I can't make out anything that they're saying, and that's obviously probably intentional, but it's just very intriguing. Like, it definitely like perks up my ears when I hear the song, and I just love the way that she's singing in the second verse. Just something about the way that she's singing is very pleasing, and it kind of scratches an itch in my brain. And then last song on the album is "Don't Smile." I feel like this was a little bit obvious for my first listen, but this one wasn't really doing much for me. Like, I didn't really have any strong feelings about it still, even a week and a half later now that I'm filming my thoughts. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad song at all either, by the way. Like, it's just not one that really I feel strongly about. Like, it doesn't really do much for me, but I don't hate it at the same time, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's just not really one that I would feel myself reaching for, at least at the moment. Like, who knows? I feel like you never know. Maybe a week from now, a month from now, something like that, I could end up just reaching for this song all the time. But at the moment, after like a week and a half of having the album, not really my fave, but we'll see. And I think it's a very different vibe from what we started out with. Like, if this song is still kind of referencing the situation and her relationship with Sean and Camila Cabello and that whole thing, if this song is still referencing that, it's very opposite from what we started with. Like, she came out swinging on this album with Taste, and then this is a very like calm, not necessarily like closure on the situation kind of song, because I don't think it is, but yeah, it's just a very different vibe from what we started with. I know a lot of people also feel very strongly about Don't Smile being a lot of people's not so favorite song. I am one of those, unfortunately. Please don't kill me. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on the songs. They were probably really jumbled and terrible, so apologies. But now we will get into my ranking of the song. And like I said, this was so disgustingly hard for me to do, even having extra time with the album compared to like my last album reaction when I only had a week. Oh my god, I don't know what it is about these songs, but most of them keep moving around. I'm really only solid in my top 3 of the songs. So I would say my ranking is Espresso, Taste, Dumb and Poetic, Coincidence, Slim Pickens, Sharpest Tool, Lighted Girls, Juno, Please Please Please, Good Graces, Bedchem, and Don't Smile. But I'm really seriously only solid on Espresso, Taste, and Dumb and Poetic being where they are. I think everything else keeps moving around. I feel like Juno's gonna move up. Coincidence might be safe in 4th, but I don't know. Good Graces and Bedchem, maybe on another day, could move up in my ranking. I really don't know. I don't know what it is about this album that's making it so hard to rank the songs. Like, I have no idea. But again, I feel like this happened with Emails I Can't Send. Like, it was kind of a slow burn of an album for me. Like, it took me a while to like really get it and really understand the songs and come around on some of the songs. So I think the same thing's going to happen over the next couple of months. And definitely, I think seeing however many of these songs live that she performs is going to alter my ranking yet again, because there'll be that like nostalgia aspect. But for now, that's my ranking. Please don't kill me. But please let me know what your ranking is of the songs and how you feel about all the songs and everything like that. I'm so intrigued to hear everybody's thoughts and now finally go watch other people's reactions too, because I didn't want other people's thoughts and feelings to like influence anything that I say, and then I just feel like I'm copying them. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Sabrina's short and sweet album. Again, don't forget to let me know what you thought of all the songs, what your rankings are, things like that, and I will see you in my next video.